Southeast Missouri.
From ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. A bill clawing back more than $9 billion in previously approved spending passing the Senate in an early morning vote. Democrats lamenting cuts to NPR and PBS. Senator Ben Ray LaHoon from New Mexico.
My Republican colleagues are prepared to gut public broadcasting funding. Public radio stations and local media are lifelines, especially in rural and tribal communities.
Senator Lujan from New Mexico. Republicans like Majority Leader John Thune, however, call it wasteful spending.
What we're talking about here is 0.1% of all federal spending. 0.1% of all federal spending. But it's a step in the right direction.
Despite anxiety over tariffs, consumers picked up their spending in June. The Commerce Department reporting retail sales rose a better than expected 0.6% in June after declining in May. The demands are not quieting for the administration to release all of the information it has on convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. And the pushback by President Trump isn't quieting either, says ABC's Rachel Scott.
As Republicans press the Justice Department to release additional files, the president calling it all a hoax. Writing on social media, my past supporters have bought in, hook, line, and sinker, saying let these weaklings continue forward because I don't want their support anymore.
Wholesome 50s and 60s singer Connie Francis has died, according to her publicist.
The music of Connie Francis was straightforward, her voice instantly recognizable.
Pretty little baby.
A contemporary of Elvis Presley and Brenda Lee, Francis was the first woman to have a #1 hit on the Billboard Hot 100 with 1960's Everybody's Somebody's Fool.
Yes, everybody's somebody's fool.
Connie Francis died Wednesday at 87. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
Connie Francis experienced a recent uptick in popularity when Pretty Little Baby went viral on TikTok. This is ABC News.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind, to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my two sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-885-7700. 800-885-7700. That's 800-885-7700.
More pop-up storms across the Northeast on Wednesday, and one of them in New Jersey was deadly.
One man is dead and more than a dozen others injured, including 8 children, after they were struck by lightning at a New Jersey archery camp. The strike killing 61-year-old instructor Robert Montgomery. This is the 12th lightning fatality just this year and the second death in New Jersey from lightning this week.
ABC's Morgan Norwood, one witness says there wasn't any thunder or even rain. The lightning simply struck the ground and the instructor. The Labor Department reporting that the number of Americans filing for unemployment benefits fell last week to the lowest level in 3 months. A piece of the red planet now belongs to an anonymous person who bought it at auction in New York on Wednesday.
The 54-pound chunk from Mars sold at New York Sotheby's with a winning bid of $5 million, including fees. It's believed to be the largest piece of Mars found on Earth. The rock was found in 2023 by a meteorite hunter in Nigeria's Sahara Desert. Scientists say an asteroid struck the Mars surface with this blasted boulder, making it through the Earth's atmosphere. The rock was part of a curated auction of rare geological and archaeological objects. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Volvo tells Reuters it's pulling sedans and station wagons from its American portfolio. Experts say President Trump's tariffs are making it harder to sell some cars for a profit. I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Lucky Larry's Landscaping, Larry! Larry saved his business money with a quick commercial auto quote from Progressive. Does it help he's his own marketing manager, accountant, executive assistant, and never been late? Technically, yes, but saving really put him over the edge. So, Larry, give Larry a round of applause. Be your own Larry. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
I'm Karen Johnson in the 24-hour newsroom. 36-year-old Erica Morton, facing a federal child porn charge, has resigned from her position as a teacher. A spokeswoman for the Farmington R7 school district told news outlets Wednesday that Morton resigned from her position as a teacher at the Truman Learning Center. Cape Girardeau city leaders are reminding drivers about occasional lane closures on Broadway for the next few weeks. According to the city, crews will be trimming trees on Broadway, and a few trees may need to be removed. Meanwhile, Perry County School District 32 held a public meeting at the Robinson Events Center to provide updates on tornado recovery efforts and seek community feedback on the future of Perryville High School since the building was struck by a tornado March 14th. Officials explained temporary classrooms will soon be installed on campus to accommodate high school classes for the year beginning in August, including a large enclosed learning expo and a science expo with labs. The Missouri Humanities Council has awarded a grant of $5,000 to the Southeast Missouri University Foundation Center for Regional History in support of the project titled Historic Preservation Month Programming for Missouri Main Streets. June's jobs report for the Show Me State's been released.
Missouri non-farm payroll employment increased by 7,900 jobs last month, and the seasonally adjusted jobless rate was steady at 4%. Over the year, there was an increase of 25,600 jobs from June 2024 to last month, and the unemployment rate increased by 0.2 of a percentage point from 3.8 to 4%. I'm Britta Dixon.
I'm Karen Johnson.
This is a local sports center update from Southeast Missouri's ESPN Radio Network.
I'm Eric Schein. The Cardinals return from the All-Star break tomorrow as they start a 6-game road trip, which will begin with a 3-game set in Arizona against the Diamondbacks. St. Louis has 65 games left in the regular season and sits at 5 games over 500. 51-46. They're a game and a half out in the race for the wild card. Tomorrow's game scheduled to start at 8:40. The Cape Catfish had their 3-game winning streak snap last night, a 5-3 loss at Rex Baseball in 5 innings. They were supposed to play a doubleheader, but the second game was rained out. The Catfish are in second place in the South Division. They lead the Prospect League in runs scored at nearly 8 runs per game, and they will open a 2-game homestand tonight, starting with the Jackson Rockabillies, who will be at Capaha at 6:35. Rusty Hendricks will call the game on SEMO ESPN Radio. Babe Ruth Baseball, the Midwest Plains Regional Tournament, starts today at Hill House Park in Charleston. The A-Corp Fighting Squirrels play Centennial, Colorado at 6:30 tonight. We'll have it on KSIM Radio.
Get local sports updates on SEMO ESPN 1220, SEMOESPN.com, and the SEMO ESPN app. Now, here's your River Radio weather forecast from the Weather Channel.
Daily scattered storm chances in the forecast due to building heat and humidity fueling an unstable air mass. Today, chance for showers and thunderstorms, 91 the high, low tonight drops to 73. Friday, more widespread activity with a high 88. Rain could be heavy at times tomorrow. Saturday, continuing the pattern, high 90. Richard DeWetting at the Weather Channel.
Listen for updates 24 hours a day from River Radio.
Thank you very much. Overcast 80 degrees, heat index at 86. It's calm. We have 90% humidity. The advisory is till 7 p.m. We gave Donna Newmeyer 2 tickets to go see Earth, Wind, and Fire. And don't you worry, we'll give some more away tomorrow. The concert is at the St. Louis Music Park on the 22nd. You can see the details on our Facebook page as well. And while you're there, send us your info in a direct message only. We are giving away an all-you-can-eat movie pass to Cape West Cinema. It's for 4 people to go to any movie you would like, and it's all the concession food you can eat. All you can eat. No candy and ice cream. That's not concession food. And not restaurant food. concessions, hot dogs, popcorn, Slurpees, pretzels, nachos, sodas, but mostly buttered popcorn. Yeah. So sign up now for your all-you-can-eat movie pass on our Facebook page for KZIM, KSIM. Coming up, cell phone policies with Melissa Henson, Vice President of the Parents Television and Media Council. It's becoming a national trend.
If you love Lars Larson, he's here every weekday from 5 to 6 p.m. And now on weekends with Here's Lars and the best of his week from 3 to 5 on KZIM, KSIM AM, and now on FM at 101.7 KSIM.
This spotlight on soybeans is brought to you by Missouri soybean farmers and their checkoff. Grain bin safety is important. Missouri Soybeans has partnered with Nationwide Insurance to provide grain bin rescue training to local fire departments and donate 2 grain rescue tubes.
One of those is in Martinsburg, Missouri. The other one is in East Prairie, Missouri.
That's Paul Stevenson with Nationwide Agribusiness Insurance.
The grain rescue tube is really the only asset that we've got that a volunteer fire company can come in, build around the entrapped individual, and then rescue the person that's entrapped.
He says if you need to enter a grain bin,
take your time, evaluate what the problem is, notify several people that you're going to go in, and take your time and make sure that you've got all the proper equipment to enter the bin, full body harnesses, lifelines, those types of things. If you don't have it, zero entry is probably the very best way to go.
Learn more about Missouri soybeans at mosoy.org. From Missouri soybean farmers and their checkoff.
Attention Southeast Missouri women. Are you ready to launch your civic leadership journey? Getting appointed to a local board or commission is a powerful way to make an impact on everything from education to economic development. Local boards and commissions need civic-minded individuals just like you. And if you're not sure where to start, there's help. United We has helped hundreds of women get appointed to boards and commissions. And now they're bringing their proven civic leadership program right here to Southeast Missouri. Appointments Project Journey groups bring women together to learn about civic leadership opportunities, identify their strengths, and navigate the appointment process, all in a supportive, nonpartisan environment. And the best part? It's completely free. Start your leadership journey today. Visit united-we.org/AP Journey to apply. That's united-we.org/AP Journey.
Summer's heating up, but your rental stress doesn't have to. With Soda Property Solutions, you can kick back while we handle the hard stuff. From tenant screening and rent collection to fully licensed maintenance like AC tune-ups and more. Serving St. Louis to Sikeston, we've got you covered, so grab your shades and let us take the heat. Soda Property Solutions, your partner for a smooth, stress-free summer. Call today for your free consultation or visit sodapropertysolutions.com.
Step on into the biggest event of the summer, the Missouri State Fair. Buy carnival and admission tickets early and save big. Skip the lines and keep more for fair food and fun. Advance admission tickets on sale now at Break Time, Baumgars, Family Center Farm and Home Stores, State Fair box office, and etix.com. Save on advanced unlimited carnival ride wristbands or wristband admission combo. Step on into the Missouri State Fair, August 7 to 17 in Sedalia. Learn more at mostatefair.com.
High school sports are as American as apple pie. And going to a game or meet is a chance to see the stars of tomorrow shine today. But as anybody who's ever attended a high school sporting event in Missouri knows, you can't have the stars without the stripes. High schools are currently looking for new officials in almost every sport. Who looks good in stripes? Anybody looking for a way to stay connected to a sport they love. If you like the idea of giving back to your community while earning a few extra bucks, chances are you'd look good in stripes too. We want to hear from you. We need to hear from you. No officials means no games. No stripes means no stars. And what kind of America would that be? Missouri needs more high school officials. Go to highschoolofficials.com to sign up or learn more. That's highschoolofficials.com.
Hey, birthday babies, listen up. We have a new way and better way to play and save.
Happy birthday!
Yes, go to KZIM-KSIM.com and enter during the month of your birth only. Each month, it starts out fresh. You can still snag movie tickets from Marcus Theaters if chosen as the winner. So come on, what do you say? Sign up in your special month. Do it now at KCINKSIM.com. Are you ready for real reality? I'm talking about the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. Are you really ready for it?
What are you talking about?
Anything. God, guns, crime, politics. You name it. Nothing's off limits with Vaughn Riggin. And without the liberal smokescreens.
Now we're talking.
It's Real Talk with Riggin.
If you need to share your opinions, you should just call Talk Radio.
And talk to the Logic Queen. It's Real Talk with Riggin.
Will you guys talk or something?
It all starts right now.
8:15, Real Talk with Riggin. Shut that down real quick before I get to my guest. An homage to my mom's absolute favorite, Connie Francis, 87 years old, passed away in her sleep. And I just grew up hearing her all of the time. She had such a sweet voice. My mom has a really pretty voice too, or did when she was younger and played the piano. But so she passed away in her sleep. She was having a really bad pain in her hip, and no one could really figure out why. She had been doctoring a lot, in and out of the hospital. They probably know what happened to her, but they just, they haven't told us yet. So her friends have announced that she has passed away, and hopefully we'll know what took her from us. But at the age of 87, it could have been anything. All right, let's head to the phone lines.
Juan is now going to speak to her guests on the EBOMD phone lines. I'm Tony Thompson. To you, EBO.
Thank you, Tony. She's vice president of the Parents Teacher, if I could talk, Parents Television and Media Council. Melissa Henson is here. Cell phone policies. It's a raging debate, but it appears the entire country is kind of unified. Good morning, Melissa. How are you?
Good morning. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing great. I don't think kids should be able to use their cell phones in the classroom. I think there should be a pouch on the side of the desk where they have to put them, but I don't want them to not have them with them. I'm weird that way, because if there's a death in the family, or if there's a school shooting, or if something's going on, I want to be able to get a hold of my kid.
Yeah, well, I think whatever resistance there is to keeping the cell phones out of the classroom, it seems to be parents who think like you do. But, it's interesting. I just saw just yesterday, in fact, a teacher posted in a Parenting in the Tech World group that she's a teacher who lived through a school shooting, and she says, in fact, phones put students in grave danger during these incidents, because when the phone gets notifications, it gives away the child's location.
Not if it's on vibrate.
Well, that's true, but she also said phones can add a lot of panic because students start texting each other false information. And it distracts the child. Then the child's job, instead of keeping themselves safe, becomes keeping mom and dad calm during situations. So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There's two sides to that coin, but I still want to reach my kid. I do.
Well, that's perfectly understandable.
Mm-hmm.
But there seems to be growing consensus across the country. I mean, it is a growing movement that's gained momentum now. We have over 30 states that have passed bell-to-bell statewide bans, and partial bans, and several more. And by now, just about every state has implemented some policy, even if the policy is just, we're going to leave it up to the district's discretion. Every state has looked at this topic.
Right. And I think it should be left up to the school boards of each city how they want to handle it, because some places are more prone to, something happening than others. We live in Tornado Alley, and but that's another reason I want my kid to have their phone. It's just, there are so many reasons. There are ways around it. Now, if a kid is a habitual offender and won't stay off their phone, then yeah, take the phone away. It's a thing. But I spoke to the kids. Now, one is only 9, so obviously he doesn't have a phone. He thinks he should have one because he's a man, but no, he's not having one. But the older kids, before they graduated, they're on their phone like it's glued to their hand. You can't even speak to them to wonder if they're listening to you at home because they're always on their phone. I can't imagine that being a challenge as a teacher with 30 of them.
Yeah, and I think that's a big part of the reason why there is growing momentum and growing support for these bans is because it winds up becoming a power struggle between the teachers and the students. You know, the teacher says, put the phone away, and the kid's attitude is basically, try and make me.
Mm-hmm. Which happens, and some of those kids are big.
And then, you know, before you know it, the entire class period is wasted just trying to get the kid to comply with the teacher's instructions, and no work is getting done, no instruction is happening, and we're seeing, you know, all across the country, reading scores are falling behind, test scores are falling behind, and I think, you know, technology in the classroom has a lot to answer for.
Yeah, and then you run across some kids that say, I don't care if I can't have my phone in school. I'm there to learn. So you have some who are logical, but most are not because they're kids. But I think I may be a little bit wrong, so don't chastise me after the show if I get it a little off. But I think what they do is they collect the phones at the door, and they each have a personal plastic pouch that they put them in, and they keep them in the office. So if something comes up and they need to get a hold of their parent for an emergency, they go to the office, they get their phone, and they call. That's acceptable.
Yeah, that's what most districts have adopted. Is there's a company called Yonder that makes these magnetic locking pouches, and the kids are supposed to put their phones in these magnetic locking pouches at the beginning of the school day. And, you know, it's locked by the administrators, and it has to be unlocked by the administrators. And some schools allow the kids to check their phones during lunch breaks or between classes. Mm-hmm. But increasingly, school districts are moving toward the bell-to-bell model, which means no phone access during the school day.
You know, do we know what year it started where every single kid had their face in a phone? When did this even start, Melissa? I'm trying to remember because I know I got the kids their phones when they were 12 and 11, and they were so excited. And then I ended up taking one of their phones away within 2 years because he was looking at inappropriate things on his phone. So, you know, it didn't last long, and I took the phone, but he's got one back because, you know, he bought it himself and whatever. But when did this start?
I mean, the first smartphones were released in the market, I think, about 20 years ago, and Facebook came online around the same time. But I think it was probably closer to 2010 when the devices became ubiquitous. And in fact, a lot of school districts were trying to sort of say, well, let's see if we can take advantage of kids' attachment to their devices. We'll implement, bring your own device policies so that they can use these devices for school purposes. And that turned out to be just a colossal failure.
That's funny. Yeah, because they're all on TikTok, which I cannot stand. I cannot stand it. You know, they're scrolling and scrolling, and every 5 seconds somebody gets a Snapchat, and it's just a picture of the person. It's like, you already know what they look like.
Right.
Why do you need another picture of them? It drives me crazy. So, you know, especially kids with like ADHD and kids who are on medication for stuff like that, they almost can't help themselves if that phone is near them.
I mean, even if you're not diagnosed with ADHD, I think every adult I've ever spoken to has had the experience of saying, yeah, I get lost on my phone. I go, to look up a phone number, and 20 minutes later I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I never got around to looking up the phone number. It is a device. It is designed for distraction,
It's a scrolling problem. I don't have a lot of friends on Facebook other than family and people I've known my entire life because I just don't want people in my business. So I'm careful that way, but there are others who collect people, You know,
Yeah.
they just want everyone to look at them and follow them. I call them glory horrors. So, you know, it's weird that our children are all kind of like that.
Well, yeah, and I, COVID frankly did a number on kids, so they've forgotten how to interact person on person. So, if a relationship isn't mediated through a digital screen, they don't know what to do.
That's why none of them can get jobs and keep them, because they have to deal with actual people. It's weird. It's affecting that.
Or dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or they're getting fired from their jobs because they're in their bathroom on the phone. So that's part of it too. You're the Parents Television and Media Council, and you changed that name before a few years ago because of the media thing. It's the whole social media and all of that is on their devices. But television is no friend to your children either. So I want to touch base on that real quick.
Yeah.
I am shocked at what is allowed in primetime TV, because I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of reality shows and just things where people are nobodies who are trying to hit it big with a music career or whatever. I watch a lot of that because I cannot stand celebrities. They drive me crazy. They're obnoxious, horrible people. So, I watch a lot of reality TV, but I was in the kitchen cooking, and Love Island, how bad could it be, right? So I have it on. People are trying to find someone to love. And my grandson came up to me, he goes, "This is highly inappropriate for me to be watching." And I turn around and they are doing that booty shake thing in other people's faces and doing all the. You really got to pay attention to what the content of the show is.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, part of the reason for the name change was because, there's been a seismic shift in people's media consumption habits. Mm-hmm. And, kids aren't watching primetime broadcast TV like they used to, but that doesn't mean that you can let your guard down, because I think a lot of these networks are taking advantage of the fact that people aren't paying close attention anymore to what they're doing, so they feel like they can do a lot more than they used to be able to get away with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they can. And
because
they
are.
Can. I think it started with Bono dropping the F-bomb on live TV. Ever since then, it's hell in a handbasket. Where are we going?
Yeah.
But cell phones are necessary. I get it. We live in an age where we have to stay connected all the time because we went and got ourselves in a dang big hurry, as Red said when he got out of Shawshank. We're just in a hurry, and we have to have information immediately, or in the news media, we're going to fall behind. We have to have instant access to everything as it breaks. And I remember the days when it came across the old Okie data thing, zzz, 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 and the paper would come out, and you'd have to tear the holes off the edges and, get on TV and read it. But now it just pops up on your phone, and it's there.
Well, yeah, and I can remember, in the early days of my professional life, when you went home for the day, your employer couldn't really reach you until the next morning when you showed up at work, and that's no longer the case, is it?
I want that bad.
I miss that too.
Yeah. And people, I have people who want to be on the show who don't understand that I get up at 3 a.m., and they're calling me at home. So I don't know how they get my cell phone number, but they're calling me at 10 o'clock at night, and I am not nice about it. So, yeah, there's a problem. But anyway, just about every state is embracing the policies to curb cell phones in classrooms, and for good reason, because your kids are there to learn. I'm proud to see North Dakota on this list as well. I know Missouri is kind of letting school districts decide what they want to do, but most are adopting this policy as well. But I'm one of the holdouts. I think the pouch should be on the desk where the kid can get to it. The teacher can push a button or something. We are all so technically advanced where she could push a button and just unlock the bag for the kids. But, that opens things to theft and whatever else. So this is a good trend, but I don't quite agree with it.
Well, just remember, until about 10 or 15 years ago, if you wanted to reach your kid during the school day, you had to call the office, and that's still an option.
I hate that. All right. Melissa, where do people go to learn more?
You can find us at parentstv.org. You can also look for us on X and Facebook, ironically, since we're talking about social media. You can look for the Parents Television Media Council official page.
She's Vice President Melissa Henson. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Yeah, I'm just one of those weirdos where I want instant access. I am.